Woo. What's up, everybody? It's me, Gorilla Show. It's been a while. We got some more content and ideas and stuff coming on the way. But I've been busy with school, so for the time being, we're gonna do a Donkey Kong characters tier list to go along with the channel. Okay, so let's get started. We have this guy. I don't actually remember his name. He's from the show. Okay, yeah. So I think if he was going to engage in a fist fight with Mark Wahlberg, he would be able to do a lot of damage because he's a pretty chunky guy. But you can never expect the Wahlberg. So I think that Mark would have like a metal pole or something laying around, and then he would bash his skull in with that. So I'm putting General Frog in tier B. Now we have Wrinkly Kong. Wrinkly Kong is going to go into S tier for two reasons. The first one is that she's a ghost, and Mark Wahlberg cannot punch ghosts. And the second is that she's a lady, and Mark Wahlberg's a gentleman and also wouldn't hit a lady. So we're going to put Wrinkly Kong in S, but that's like a technical foul, you know? It's not... I don't think she would beat Mark, but it's more that Mark has no chance of beating her. Okay, we have DK. So, as we all know, Donkey Kong has some great moves in his own games and in Smash Brothers. He's got the Monkey Smash, the Monkey Punch, and the Monkey Up. But Wahlberg's got the Wahlberg Slam, and he's got the Wahlberg Bash Your Skull in with the metal pole he's got lying around. So, as much as I'd like to say that DK can beat Wahlberg, I don't think he's got a chance. We're gonna put him at high B for now. I think he does better than General Frog. Okay, we have Crocodile Frederick now. Crocodile Frederick is a coward. He's a little boy. He's nothing more than a little boy, and I have no hesitation in my mind that Mark Wahlberg would be completely able to bash his skull in with the metal pole. He's got it. So, he's going in D tier. Fuck him. He's a little pig. Speaking of little pigs, we have the goalpost pig. This guy can't fight, but he's got some cool glasses. So I'm going to put him in C tier because I think that Mark Wahlberg would get a little bit distracted by the fashionable glasses at first and kind of forget to reach for that pole he's got. Okay, we have Swashbuckling Frog, and these guys are from Donkey Kong Country 2. Now, they're pretty hard to hit because they're swinging their swords all around, but if you jump on their heads properly... Oh, actually, I don't know if I'm remembering this properly. I think in DKC2, you either hit them with metal barrels or you can jump on them, but you can't roll into them. And we all know that Mark Wahlberg is an amazing jumper. He was the high jump champion in Pennsylvania, so he would definitely be able to smash this guy. It's a skull bashing, but not the traditional sense. It's not the Wahlberg classic. It's not what we know him for. Okay, we have Funky Kong. I'm sorry to say, I think Funky Kong is at least even. I think he'd do better than Donkey Kong, because Donkey Kong, he's got a tie. Mark Wahlberg would think, oh, blue collar monkey. I don't like that. But Funky Kong, on the other hand, he's a garage hand. He fixes stuff. So Mark Wahlberg would go, ooh, those shades. He's got a do-rag. Mark Wahlberg is scared of do-rags. We all know that. We've seen Transformers 4. So that's why I'm putting Funky in A. Now, Tiny Kong, she would shrink small and try to dodge the metal pole, but Mark Wahlberg, we know, has the accuracy of a tarantula hawk, so we're putting her in D tier. Okay. Now we have, I think that's Candy Kong. Mark Wahlberg would for sure get distracted by her cans and wouldn't want to bash her head in at first. We're going to put her under Funky because of the female clause. Now, I'm not saying that I implore Mark Wahlberg for not wanting to hit women. That is internalized misogyny, and that's one of the least respectable things about Mark Wahlberg to me. But after a while, he would shake himself out of his sexual arousal and smash her skull in. So, take that as you will. K. Rool with boxing gloves on. This one's a hard one, because normal K. Rool, he would for sure lose. He's just a crock. Mark Wahlberg would see him. He hates the color green, and he would just go into that furious rage we all know Mark Wahlberg for. But this guy's got boxing gloves and clothes on, so I think Mark Wahlberg would at first think he's a human until he notices his long snout. For this reason, we're going to put K. Rool above Donkey Kong. But I still think that Mark Wahlberg would only take about 15 seconds before reaching for that pole. Okay, now we have Donkey Kong again. He's got cool teeth, and he's a little bit more human dressed, so you know what? We got to put him under Funky. This version of Donkey Kong he's got bling, and we all know that Mark Wahlberg loves bling. So he would first try to strike him a deal. He'd go, "Hey, I got 20 on me. You wanna give me those rings?" And then Donkey would go, "No, no." And that's when Mark Wahlberg swings in with the pole. He gets him, but not after a little bit of difficulty. There's definitely a scuffle involved in this fight. Okay, we have Muscular Frog. He's intimidating, but Mark Wahlberg, we all know as well, it's got a beautiful singing voice. He was in Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. He would sing him to sleep, and then he would take the metal rod and puncture him in the throat. He would puncture him in the throat with the metal rod. He's going in C tier. Okay, now we have Tiki Tong. Tiki Tong, it's a bit of a hard trick because first, there's a lot of stuff we have to factor in. So, in order to fight Tiki Tong, Mark Wahlberg would have to climb Kong Island. And this is a very contextual thing. He would have to climb Kong Island in 2010, because that was the point in time where Tiki Tong took over the island. Obviously, even though that's time sensitive, I have no doubt in my mind that Mark Wahlberg's physically capable of doing that. And when he gets up there, Tiki Tong slams his hand down, smashed by the metal rod. Other hand down, smashed by the metal rod. He brings his head down. We already know what Mark Wahlberg is renowned for. Brutalizing people with his metal rod. So we're gonna put... I think Tiki Tong, there's a lot of things that are hard, so we're gonna put him above Funky Kong, but, there's no doubt in my mind that Mark Wahlberg can't destroy him. He can destroy him in a fight. Okay, Rambi. Huh. This one's tough. I think that at first Mark Wahlberg would be really scared, but then he would remember he was in The Other Guys, and in The Other Guys they fight a rhinoceros, and Mark Wahlberg remembers, I shot the rhinoceros with my shotgun, and he would have a shotgun with him, and so it takes Mark Wahlberg some thinking time, but I don't think Rambi would take the real opportunity to strike. We're gonna put him between General Frog and Donkey Kong. Diddy Kong, he's got a jetpack and some peanut guns, but I'm sorry. Mark Wahlberg, again, he has the accuracy of a tarantula hawk, so we're going to have to put him top of C. I think he can do better than Pig, but he can only... It's more of a question of how long Diddy Kong can last before his fateful death. Next, we have Captain K. Rool. He's got a gun for sure, and he's dressed in more clothes, so we're going to put him above Donkey Kong in clothes. I think that Mark Wahlberg would be really scared at first, but then forget that his cannon he shoots is very slow, and Mark Wahlberg can bounce on that and then hit him on the head. So really, there's not a lot to worry about. We have the Walrus from the Beatles song. We all know that Mark Wahlberg really likes the Beatles, so this is another tough one. But I don't think that the Walrus can actually play any of the tracks of Magical Mystery Tour. So, this one, okay, I gotta add a new tier. Add row below. Did not mean to italicize that. This one's hard, because, I don't know very much about the Walrus. If he's able to play the entire track list of Magical Mystery Tour, Mark Wahlberg's toast. His brain would melt. But if he can't, Mr. Walrus is toast. Mark Wahlberg would melt his brain. He would melt his brain. Okay, we have the Donkey Kong when you die a lot. But he just looks like an older version of Donkey Kong, so I'm gonna put him below him. Mark Wahlberg would first mistake him for a human because of that tie, but then go, monkey! Monkey! Donkey Kong Jr., he'd die. Donkey Kong Jr. would die. Now we have, Chunky Kong, I believe this guy's name is. Now, Chunky Kong can grow to a large size, but so can Mark Wahlberg. So this one's a more even fight. I'm putting him above Muscular Frog. Okay, we have not Tiny Kong. Baby Kong. And he would do better than Tiny and Donkey Kong Jr. He can skip on the water. We all know about that from Donkey Kong Country 3, but still, I don't think he could do that great. I don't think he could do that great. Lanky Kong reminds Fuck! Fuck! You can do this. Lanky Kong reminds Mark Wahlberg of his father, so I think it would be really hard for him to put him down. So for that reason, I'm gonna put Lanky Kong in S. Mark would be crying, he would be so conflicted, and Lanky Kong could just stick his whole arm down his throat and suffocate Mark Wahlberg. He'd suffocate him. He'd suffocate him. He'd die a horrible death with an orangutan arm down his throat. Mark Wahlberg would have a Wahlburger in his stomach, Lanky would grab the Wahlburger, maybe even have a shake. I don't know though, it depends on the day. If it's a Saturday, for sure there's also a shake in there. Now we have Normal K. Rool. Normal K. Rool looks definitively like a crocodile. So for that reason, Mark Wahlberg could slam him. He could slam him down. I don't know if he'd use his rod for this one. I think Mark Wahlberg also has a trident he keeps around. So I think certainly he'd use the trident for K. Rool. But obviously, you know, still that's a murder weapon. So he's toast. K. Rool's toast. I don't know what that is. D tier. Scientist K. Rool. He floats around, but honestly, it's a really easy final boss, and if I can beat it, Mark Wahlberg can. He's in D tier. Putting him above that. Cranky Kong. Now, we all know that Cranky Kong is the Donkey Kong from the original arcade game, and Mark Wahlberg grew up playing that one, so he would have a lot of conflict trying to put him out of his misery, and they'd have a cool stick fight, because, you know, metal rod versus wooden stick, but I still think, eventually, after a large scuffle, Mark Wahlberg could take Cranky out of his misery, and finally become the protagonist of Donkey Kong 1981. Below Tiki Tom, we have Little Skimper. Little Skimper is a fiendish ghoul, and Mark Wahlberg hates fiendish ghouls. That being said, Mark Wahlberg also has, we've established he has his metal rod, his shotgun, his trident. Mark Wahlberg also has a Banshee. He captured a Banshee when he was 18 years old, and we all know that the fiendish ghouls are in love with Banshees. So, Mark Wahlberg would call his Banshee out. His Banshee's name is Fertilda, and Fertilda would distract the fiendish ghoul, Little Scamper, until Mark Wahlberg could use his metal rod to puncture its eyes out. And we all know that if fiendish ghouls can't see, they don't live. Middle of C. Dixie Kong. Dixie Kong is Mark Wahlberg's one true love. However, we've all seen The Happening, and in The Happening, everyone knows that Mark Wahlberg can kill the people he loves. He has that ability. That's in his wheelhouse. For that reason, I don't think Dixie Kong would even want to fight him, so she's going below Diddy. So that's my tier list. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think.